So I'm here with Anthony Culler, and you're running for U.S. Congressman against Clyburn. What district is that? Sixth district.
Yes.
And I'm just curious about, what's one of the reasons why you're running? What makes you, you have 4 daughters here, stay-at-home dad.
Correct.
You have banking, a background in banking. But what makes you want to step out and challenge probably the most liberal congressman in the U.S. House?
Simple. God made me do it. I am smart enough. I know the numbers. I have looked over this thing. I've looked over the 16 counties. I've looked over the precincts. You ask anyone, Clyburn is unbeatable. A Republican will never do it. I have looked at all this stuff, but God has asked me to run. Now, when this thundering Moses and everything, and he says, do this, and he didn't tell me I'm going to win. He told me to run. And I'm old enough to know that when you feel that tugging, you follow that. You don't use your head and say, listen, the numbers, you're going to waste your time and your money. Like you say, I've got my daughters, I've got my wife out here. We're out here, and we're going to be here all the way until we give, because I like Clyburn. I really do. I think anyone that's put 10 terms in deserves the kind of retirement party that the Culler family is going to give him in November. I think he deserves it.
Now, earlier you talked about his district as being what people say a corridor of shame.
Correct.
What is it going to take to bring economic prosperity to that district? What's your strategy to help those people?
Okay.
But what's your philosophy as far as the government's role in creating an environment where people can thrive and build prosperity for their families?
It's a great question. My wife, she has a chemistry degree. She understands regulations. We understand how government and everybody else understands how government getting into business, getting into our personal lives, is a recipe for disaster. My background before banking was sales. I've always been sales. I believe instead of congressmen using all their influence they have, which they have a lot of influence, to pad their own pockets, why are they not making sales calls on all these industries? Alan Clements here in Horry County recently brought 2 gun manufacturers from up north to Ainer, bringing good jobs you can raise your family on. The way I see it is I'm going to use my past experience in sales, along with my wife's connections. She's worked in Houston and different places. We are going to call on businesses, and I want to bring them to the 6th district. And now occasionally, you might find one that doesn't work. Why not just bring it for the Palmetto State? I believe that if you get businesses to come in, you'll turn everything around. At the same time, you have to cut back these regulations. Not all of them. We have 4 children. We don't want to destroy the environment, but you have to be responsible. And the government is the worst way of doing that.
You mentioned the gun manufacturers, and I believe that the Second Amendment is very important to you. You have the left in the country that are really trying to really restrict. They tried to ban assault rifles last year. How important is the Second Amendment to you?
Second Amendment. I believe the Second Amendment is the primary amendment to protect the citizens from the government. It's the one that protects all other amendments. But more than that, I love the Second Amendment. I'm a gun nut. I've been shooting since I was a kid. I've had AR-15 rifles. I believe that high-capacity magazines are necessary if you're not that good a shot, because you got more chances. And so all these rules and regulations on that, you're not going to stop it. All you're going to do is stop the citizens from having the means to defend themselves or to go out on a right that they have. No, I'm 100% pro-second, but more than that, like I said, I'm a gun nut.
What about right to life? What's your stance on pro-life issues?
Okay, right to life. Let's see, what's the best way I can put this? My family is here. We got here yesterday at the Tea Party convention. We were here till late last night. We got up. We're here again this morning. All 6 of us are here. We're going to be here until it's over tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to be back here. Tomorrow night when we leave, we are going home, packing our things. At 3 in the morning, my wife is going to bring our 4 daughters and myself to St. Michael's parking lot, the Catholic Church here, where the 5 of us are getting on a bus, 3 in the morning, and we're going to Washington, D.C. to the march. And it is our first trip up there. I homeschool the girls. It is an experience that we are just so looking forward to. We are... It's pro-life doesn't really cover it. We're pro-life plus.
As far as one more question about education.
Yes.
You homeschool your own kids?
I homeschool.
There's a lot of families that would love to do that. They would love to send their child and have the choice to educate their kids the way they want to. For our state, it falls pretty short as far as education. You have Common Core, which a lot of people say it's a federal takeover of the education. I just talked to Sherry Few, who's running for superintendent of education. She's totally against Common Core. And a lot of people say it's propaganda, but also a lot of people say it's basically dumbing down our kids. What's the solution for education? What are some of the things that you want to implement and fight for as far as raising those standards and helping parents choose the best place to put their kids as far as education is concerned?
Okay, first off, on Common Core, I'm against it. I believe we need to bring more accountability into it. I don't think the problem can be solved throwing money. We've obviously tried that. That didn't work at all. But we need to bring some accountability. And this is one of the tough things about it. You're talking about the parents wanting for their children. The education system, I know from experience, our children are going to be better educated when the parents at home take a higher job at doing this, whenever they take more time into it. But then you've got the economy the way it is. You don't get to have one parent. In my family, we've been blessed that I have been able to stay and watch after our children and everything. Most families can't do that. They are working. Both of them are working. They come home, they're worn out. And the kids, hey, have you done your homework? Yeah, we've done our homework. That you don't have the time to do that. We have to find a way of creating a better economy where the parents can spend more time with the children, because that is it. We are the primary responsible party for our children. I see my daughters, their future comes from my wife and I, not from the school system. So we've got to put more accountability into the school system. I mean, you're asking like from a state level or a federal level. We need to hold the teachers more accountable. Now, a lot of the teachers I've talked to are incredible. They do not do this for the money. We've got to give them the way to be able to do it. But Common Core is just the way that I see it. They've been bribed. A lot of the federal funding is pulled back. And these teachers, these school districts are looking to that, and some of these entities that have the money, the deep pockets and everything, to keep the business of schooling going. I wished I could tell you it was something better than that, but I honestly believe it's going to come from the homes. It's going to come from the families. You look at the school violence, you look at all these different things. It is a deterioration of the family unit, and it's so cliche. But until we get the families back solid and start seeing that as the thing, you're not going to see anything. Common Core is just it's another child left behind.
And one more question. $17 trillion in debt.
Oh my!
Now they just passed a $1.1 trillion spending bill. Mm-hmm. First of all, what is your strategy for any? You do have good congressmen in the South Carolina. Mark Sanford,
right.
Got Jeff Duncan from the upstate. They voted against it.
Right.
Now you have some other Republicans and Clyburn who voted for it.
Right.
But what's your strategy? What's your how do we start being fiscally responsible?
Okay. Now, Joshua, if I had the answer for that, I mean, I would have all the money in the world. I would have everything. Everyone is given a try at it. I think what is going through now, I don't think that's the answer either. I wished I could say that there is a silver bullet for it. There is not. we got into this thing through slow movements in the wrong direction. And I'm afraid we're going to have to move back. There's going to have to be a tightening down on things. We're going to have to decide where we're going to do this. The Obamacare. Whenever you're bringing up things like that, you are just sinking a ship that's already leaking in every which way. We have to put people up there in Congress. In the sense, you have to have solid individuals that are going to go up there, work on good judgment. And they're going to have to come up with a better plan than what they have. It's not my expertise on that. I believe you bring the 435 different members of Congress together from all different fields and all different livelihoods to be able to do it. But I haven't seen the magic thing yet. And that's what people are looking for. It's just going to be, it's like a home. See, I always go back to the home thing. Our families know how to keep a budget. I believe we need to put somebody up there that understands a family budget and that can run the government in a similar way. I'm not saying a government such as the United States and families are the same, but some of the decisions that these guys are making, I wonder where, because I've talked to a lot of these guys. I talk to them and I'm like, how in the world can you be so intelligent and make all these good decisions, but then you'll vote for things like this? You will allow bills to go through without even reading them. On my Facebook, my daughter had a posting up there and it said, you know, my father can help with this because he'll read the bills that are put through. I think a lot of that would help. Common Core got slid by us the same way as Obamacare. It was something that happened in the night. And now we are fighting everything we can do to stop it. And it's just, we've got to get ahead of the game on it.
Well, Anthony Culler, thank you so much. And how can people find out more information about your campaign?
Okay, right now the best way is on our Facebook, Culler for Congress. I also have a website that I'm developing that's cullerforcongress.com.
Okay.
And so you can find out more information there. And as you know, the battle that I'm up against to win this 6th, I need prayers. And I don't care if the prayers come from outside the 6th district. Prayers are able to cross over district lines. And so those prayers would be much needed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.